Let's kick off week 18 here, guys. 2 games on Saturday, one of which is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. Right now, the Chiefs are 10.5 to 11.5 point road favorites over the Denver Broncos, a total of 45. If we break down what is going on here, we know there's an outside chance that the Chiefs could be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, they would need a big time upset loss by the Titans this week against the Texans. Titans double-digit favorites, but it is not out of the realm of possibility for that to happen. Brad, I'll start with you on this one. One, when we're handicapping motivation this week, obviously the 1 seed is a big motivation. However, you're also getting, you're going to need a double-digit dog to win on Sunday. Do you think we get full effort, max effort, everybody playing the whole 9 yards from the Chiefs in this game?
I think so. I handicap this as basically we can assume, pretty good effort from both teams. The Chiefs they've got to play as if they can still get the 1 seed, I think, and I think that'll be the message. And the same with the Broncos. They just want to beat the Chiefs. Basically, I don't think either team is going to come in here flat. The line itself is interesting, up to 11.5. Where, what was it, 3 weeks ago? Broncos at Chiefs opened 9.5, and it was down to 7.5 at kick. Obviously, we've got a quarterback change here, but this is a pretty big line move for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks of games.
All right, Steven. So let's take a look here. Steven tells us earlier in the week that he was not going to have any plays, and then he sends us his picks yesterday, and he has plays on every game, it seems like. So let's take a look at this one just from top to bottom. There's no doubt the Chiefs are a more talented team. There's no doubt that the Chiefs have the motivation angle here. There's no doubt that when it all comes down to it, you're also getting, you're getting the Drew Lock experience on the Broncos side of things. However, I do think the backdoor situation here is open, because if you're Andy Reid and the Chiefs, you understand you need to win the game, but you don't have to win this game by 20 points. Like, you don't have to win this game. You have to. I think that Andy Reid is sharp enough to understand that without Patrick Mahomes, but even without Tyreek Hill, without Travis Kelce, their chances are dust, right? Their chances of winning the Super Bowl are absolute dust. And so I would not be surprised to see a lot of these starters hit the bench and then leave that kind of back door open for the Broncos, which makes me a little bit hesitant in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's just such a wide range of outcomes in this situation. Is there a chance that the Chiefs go up huge like they have in some games in recent weeks against bottom feeder teams or bottom of the league teams? I'm not saying the Broncos are that, but they're below average, and they just only play their starters for 2.5 quarters. That's a possibility for sure. They could get up 27-0 and just, pack it in. Brad, absolutely right that this is, if you factor in home field, if you put these teams on a neutral field, this line is 6 points higher for the Chiefs than it was in their first meeting about a month ago. Now, is Teddy Bridgewater worth that? I think Teddy Bridgewater played in that first game between these two teams. I probably not, but Drew Lock has also been terrible. So do I really want to put money on a back door for the Broncos here when I don't really rely on their quarterback or have confidence in their quarterback? So it would be probably Chiefs first half or nothing for me if I'm going to bet on this, but I'm not going to bet on this. And I would just make one note for the offseason. Like, the Broncos remind me so much of the Bucs from 2 years ago before they got Tom Brady. That roster literally has everything but a quarterback. And they're going to be aggressive for one. They got extra picks for it. So when those Super Bowl futures open, if one book has a price that's off for the Broncos compared to the other books, that might be something to take a shot at.
Brad, I think that this is going to be an angle for several of these games as we kind of talk through them, these first half bets, because those are the ones that I've been looking the hardest at for a lot of these teams, right? And it's because of, like we said, it's not necessarily the motivation factor to win. It's the motivation factor to play it all the way through 4 quarters, which we know for a lot of these is just not going to be the case here. What we find with the Chiefs is, though, this first half line is sitting just under a touchdown, about 6.5 points if you're playing the first half line on this one. What do you think about the Chiefs overall, like top to bottom? effort here? And then what do you think about making a play on this game?
Well, we gave out the Chiefs. Well, I mentioned the Chiefs first half last week because you get the Andy Reid script. I think they were up 14-0, in the blink of an eye last week, and then the Bengals came back on them. So whenever betting the Chiefs, I always like the first half, and I think that's a solid angle. I think one thing to mention here is the Broncos cornerbacks. Down Ronald Darby, Patrick Surtain, Nate Hairston, third cornerback is questionable, so they could be real thin here against the Chiefs, which is, that's the last thing you want to be thin against at corner. So yeah, Chiefs first half, a solid look. Not a game I've got a super strong opinion on, really.